wishing he was here. For whatever reason, I thought that it was necessary to, I guess, crack open the fruit, as it were, of my family and what it was like being the son of someone like John Olmsted. And I understand that it's hard to watch at some point, but I hope that people can relate to it, and I hope that there are lessons for all of us. One of the other things they said was that, Alden, there was a lot of layers in the film, and I said, and? There was a lot of layers to my dad. So a basic film about John Olmsted is not a film about John Olmsted. And every single person that I talked to, that I interviewed, which was around 25, and I cut it to about 18 or 19, every person that I talked to said, oh, who have you talked to? And I told them, and they said, oh, well, that's nothing, you got to talk to. So, and they gave me 5 or 6 more names, everybody. So this was the tightest version I could make. But I guess there's a lot of interesting things to me, and one of the most interesting from a filmmaking standpoint and from a psychological standpoint is that all of those things that people said I didn't ask. I asked everyone the same questions. How did you meet John Olmsted, and what happened when, blank, whatever part that they related to. And everything that was there, especially my brother's things, which are hard to watch for me, that was apparently stuff that he needed to get out. And I was nervous, sending Eric a copy of the film a couple months ago, but he really liked it, and he actually seems like he's doing a lot better in a weird way since Dad's cancer. I think not talking about something for 20 years is usually not good. So I know that everyone's not able to do it or make a film about it, but I know that the last 6 months there, not everyone gets to enjoy that time with their dad, even people that have their parents in their lives. So I did take that and understand that was special as it was happening. And the night before he asked forgiveness, when he didn't know I was watching, he didn't know I was filming that part, which obviously was the most meaningful part for me. The night before was the first time we ever had dinner that we didn't talk about his trails or his projects. We just sat and talked, and he said that he wanted to stay alive, to be interested in our lives, and my life and my brother's life. And I didn't realize it till that point that I needed to hear that, and I never thought about it. It was foreign to me to think that my dad would be interested in my life. And that's both sad and encouraging that I guess it happened. So I just hope that, like I said, that other people can relate and get something out of this film, and I hope that we're able to save out of the parks. And I didn't plan on it, but I had to do something. And Jug Handle actually will probably be saved within the next 2 weeks from your donations and many others. And if you haven't already, in your little pass, there is a People's Choice Award, and you're welcome to put this film if you think that it deserves it, and I think you can turn those in at the end. And I don't know if we have time for just 1 or 2 quick questions. I know there's a lot of questions. You're welcome to email me on johnolmsted.net or on my website, aldenolmsted.com, but if there are any quick questions that you have, I know that it does cover a lot of information and a lot of life story really quickly, so if there's 1 or 2 questions that I can answer right now. Yes?
What's next for you?
That's a question I'm not sure if I'm ready to answer. Well, I mean, I'm finishing up cleaning out Dad's house, and we're in escrow right now, and I'm very thankful for that. And the people are amazing who are buying my dad's house, and I'm really thankful for that. And I'm thankful that it's being turned over to good hands. And while it's still fresh, I might try to make a simple book about the process of getting rid of 40 years of John Olmsted slides and hundreds of thousands of photos and slides. And as I watch the house, I remember where I started, and now the house is empty. So don't ask me how I did it. I have no idea. Some of you were at the yard sales. There were 3 of them, and there were more Craigslist and eBay items that I could count, postings. You know, it's probably what's that?
You did good, Alden.
Well, thank you very much. So what's next? You know, a book. I know Jug Handle probably needs its own movie just about Jug Handle. I think it deserves it. As I've spent time with the parks, I'm surprised at when my dad left Mendocino, all those people, they don't know how that park got saved. They have no idea. So while it's fresh in my mind, I might like to do that if it's possible. But there's, it's probably time to start thinking about my future too. And I don't have a ring here, so there's a girl in LA, so that might be a possibility. I know, I obviously am determined to be a part of my kids' lives, and not that I would change though what my dad did. That's the weird part. I wouldn't have made this movie if I didn't appreciate and understand how valuable what he did was. And that's why I loved the comments by Sally and by Mary about there's wreckage, but in the end, what are you going to do? This is what it took, and this is the cost. And I just thought it was important for all of us to think about what the cost was.
What about contributions?
Contributions continue locally at Briar Patch and Empire Mine with the little buckets. I'm actually working on a program with Malakoff right now to specifically target the propane and the utility costs at Malakoff, because that's their biggest cost. So you can always go on johnolmsted.net, and there's a PayPal button. You can continue to give that way. We have raised about $27,000, $1 at a time, and so much so that the State Parks Foundation 2 months ago called me and said they want to match funds. So, so I guess I'll just finalize by saying, I know it's not popular and it's easy to read the news every day and be depressed about what's going on in the world, but I guess maybe because my dad, I just don't see it that way. I see the possibilities, and the silver lining on the parks thing is that we all care more, and it's more on our mindset than it was a year ago, than it was 5 years ago. And I'm tired of seeing big corporations throw money at things. It's time for us to care about it, and that's how these parks got built in the first place, and that's how they're going to get saved. And I've had people email me saying, I gave $12 5 months ago, where is that money gone? Is this a scam or something? And I email them back and say, well, no, you need to check up on the website and you read the papers. But the bigger picture is that when people give something, they're invested. And even if it's $1, and that's what I wanted this whole thing about saving the parks to be, was that I want us to be invested and not let the state or a big corporation step in and just so we don't have to think about it and we can forget about it. I think we should care, and I think we should take ownership of our local parks, not the whole state, but just your local parks. Take care of them and be involved and get to know the rangers and get to know how you can help. And like I've said before, and you guys are probably sick of hearing me say it, but I am encouraged by the amount of local support for the parks and for my dad, and that's partly why I made this movie, was for all of you, and for my family and for what we had to go through, but also for all of you. So thank you very much for supporting my dad all these years and supporting me too. Thank you.